Okay, this is a quick tutorial on the My Name Is project for Garageband. A lot of things are going to be very similar as they were in Pro Tools, but there are a couple of things that, as you know, Garageband does differently, so I just want to go through what those things are. First things first, we're going to assume that you remember things like saving onto the external drive and how to hook up the interface in terms of physically plugging it in and the different components of an audio interface. If you don't, I want to encourage you to go back to the video that we did for the Pro Tools version of this project, and it walks you through the interface. Go back to Mixing 101 in Pro Tools if you cannot recall how to save to that external hard drive. In any case, we're starting with a blank project here, an empty project, and in the past we used a software instrument, and then we used a drummer track, and now we are going to use an audio track, and this time we're going to use the microphone. And there's a couple of things before you hit create you should know. One is it's going to confirm for you right here. It says my instrument is connected with. And in this case, I'm using the same interface that I used last time, the 2 in 2 out Onyx Blackjack. But if that's not correct for any reason, you can click on this arrow and it immediately pulls up your preferences and it immediately goes to the audio MIDI tab, and you can go in and you can change this to whatever it needs to be. But again, remember, to do this project, you've got to have an external interface. You can't do this with the built-in output. It will not work because you have to connect that microphone. So we're going to click off that because it's good. Now the other thing is the Blackjack is a 2 in 2 out. So keep in mind which channel are you plugged into with your microphone. In this case, like before, I'm plugged into channel 1, but if I was plugged into channel 2, I would need to change that. And I'll show you how to change that in a second if you have multiple tracks and for some reason it's not popping up correctly for you. But in any case, this all looks good. I've got my audio track. I'm going to hit create. And now I see my audio track. Now you'll notice at the top of this track here under audio 1, which it's a good idea, by the way, if you double click that, you can change that. And I know this is going to be my voice, so I'm going to change it to Richard VOX just like I did in Pro Tools. And that's just a good thing to get in the habit of, is labeling everything. In any case, the button right below that that's engaged, this is my input monitoring button, and it lets me see the signal that's coming in from my microphone. And even though I'm not holding my microphone right now, it's just sitting on the desk in my studio, it's still picking up a little bit of signal. This is the same mic I used in the Pro Tools video. It's a Shure Beta 57A dynamic mic. I'm going to hold this up to my mouth now, and you can see that we're getting signal on the interface. I know you can't see it, but I can adjust that gain knob again, and I can get more signal or I can get less, whatever I need to do. And one more time, please remember, it's a really good idea to have the knobs on your interface started, all of them at 12 o'clock, and adjust from there, at least for now, as you're getting used to how they work. In any case, the monitoring on, the monitoring off is really a preference. I'm going to turn it off just so you can see that because I have this track selected right now in Garageband, I'm still getting signal. The other thing I want to point out before we start recording anything is that up here to the right of my counter area, I've got my count off, and right now it's engaged. I don't really need a count off for this, so I'm going to turn it off. And I don't really need a click track either, so I'm going to turn that off as well. You can experiment with those and see what works best for you, but for our purposes today, I'm going to turn those off. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to record some audio. I know that I've got signal. And by the way, at the bottom of the screen here, if you happen to be in the wrong channel, like let's say you were plugged into channel 2, but right here under input, it says channel 1. Here's how you change that. Click on here and you see you've got two options. Input 1, input 2, and you can switch it. Notice when I switch it to 2, nothing else on the meter again. Why not? Well, because it can't find the microphone. I need to make sure I'm in the correct input based on what the interface is doing. So there we go. All right, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to my transport. I'm going to hit record, and as soon as I do that, I'm going to say my phrase, my name is Richard Maxwell. So here we go. My name is Richard Maxwell. So, there we have it. Let's play it back here a second. Go back to the beginning here. Let's play it back and see what that sounds like. My name is Richard Maxwell. Okay, not bad. So we have the information that we need. A little hard to see. I can zoom horizontally here, so I can stretch things out a little bit. Can't see too great here right now. If I double click on the region, I now have it in the bottom, and I can see it a little bit better. And I can stretch this a little bit and move some things around, but I can see what's going on here. Now again, I'm going to be looking for my third word, is. So let's play it one more time from the beginning, and let's see if we can figure out which one of these little waveform moments here is the word is.
My name is Richard.
So it's right here. So in GarageBand, when I'm editing, a couple of different things that we can do, but basically I'm going to move the playhead over to before the word is. I'm going to go over to Edit, and it says Split Regions at Playhead. And you'll notice now I have two segments, and this is reflected both in the editing area at the bottom, but also in my track data here at the top. Now I'm going to move the playhead again over to the right, so just past the word is. And again, I'm going to go to Edit, and I'm going to split the regions at the playhead. And now I have three areas. I have my name, is separate, and then Richard Maxwell. So I need to change the word order. Now I can also do some trimming similar to Pro Tools by grabbing at the bottom here on the edge, and I can move this in a little bit, and you'll see it's reflected here. You can also do this in the bottom where these are a little bit larger, and you can go out or you can go in. I'm also going to go to the very beginning here, and I'm going to trim a little bit on the front end like that. So now I've got my name is Richard Maxwell. So I need to change that word order. Pretty simple. I'm going to just grab the names here and move things around. So I'm going to leave Richard Maxwell where it is. I'm going to grab the name at the top, and I'm going to move this over to right there. And then I've got the my name part to move. And now that's afterwards. And now when I hit play,
Richard Maxwell is my name.
It's not bad. Now you'll notice there was a little bit of a blip there because I cut off the end of my name. So I'm going to move these down just a little bit. And I am going to open this up just a little bit here. I'll do this in the edit area so you can see it a little bit easier. So now I can make sure my name is there correctly. So now I've got
Richard Maxwell is my name.
I've changed the word order. So it's pretty much the same as Pro Tools. The interface is a little bit different, but the concept is basically the same. So see what you can do, see which one you feel is more effective, which one you feel like you have the most control, which one gives you the most creative options. Experiment, see what you come up with. So just like before, if you want to use the same project for all the members of your group, once you've got the first one done, just go to this plus sign here and make sure you have audio track selected, the microphone one preferably since we're using a microphone. Then go to make sure that it says the correct interface, make sure it's the correct input, and hit create. And now you have another audio track that you can record onto. And you'd probably want to mute this top one while you're recording the second one, but that's certainly up to you. I suppose you could try to coordinate them if you wish. Anyway, I look forward to hearing what you come up with.